When I am calling Israelis white people, I mean it. When I'm saying that they're not really Jewish, I mean it. Am I a Jew? No. Am I an authority on the matter? Not in the slightest. But the thing of it is that Zionists have proven themselves to be untrustworthy. They have been lying and doing heinous shit even before World War II. They have been lying and doing the most for hundreds of years. And you expect me to believe that you expect me to take their word on it when they say that they're Jews? Any Jewish ancestry they may have had had to have been ruined when they actively participated in the killing of Jews in World War II and in Palestine, when they have done everything they can to kill Palestinian Jews and to eradicate that word from existence. They themselves have said that they are a political movement. I mean, hell, their founder was an atheist. I'm saying they have lied for so often and for so long. Do you really expect me to take their word on that? And hell, let's just say they are actually a part of the diaspora. There's no way they should still be included after everything that they've done to other Jews in World War II and in Palestine. There's no way. Not to mention that their actions have given validation to neo-Nazis who can now use their actions as, see, we tried to warn you, we told you that Jews were bad, which gives cause to an increase in anti-Semitism in the world. There's no way Zionists are Jews. There's no way they count. And again, but you know what? I recognize that I'm not an authority figure on this. I recognize that I'm not a part of the diaspora, and so I don't really have any real say in this. I understand that. I don't care. I don't care because I do not respect Israelis. I do not respect Zionists. My lack of trust towards Zionists is so high that I'm willing to go the extra mile to be antagonistic towards them, to say out of pocket shit. I do not respect people who commit genocide. I do not respect people who arrest children. I don't respect people who rape children. I do not respect people who kill them and torture them and bomb them and brag about it on social media and then lie about it here in the States. I don't respect people like that. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a bunch of white people. I mean, hell, if you are part of the diaspora, you're certainly not Semitic. Anytime anyone asks you where you're from, it's Brooklyn or some spot in Europe. Like, can we please be fucking for real? So, yeah, I don't care how disrespectful I sound because I don't respect people who kill kids. I don't care how offensive I come off to you. Matter of fact, I wrote a whole song about it and it's pinned to the top of my page. Bring all your friends. Back when I was more active in church, we had a name for people like you. Sons of perdition. In the Bible, it predicts the Lord cutting off wicked branches, sour grapes, wicked branches of Israel, cutting them off and casting them into the fire before they poison the whole tree. Seems to me that Israel, well, specifically the Zionists, are a fitting description. Sons of perdition. That's you.
Okay, so this comment is so laughably inaccurate that I just have to make a reply video to it because it's really hysterical. The first thing it says is that Zionists are white. Well, Zionism has nothing to do with the pigmentation of your skin. And if you're focusing on the pigmentation of your skin and you're trying to create a lot of, stigma around that based on skin color, that'd make you a hypocrite based on what I assume is your political agenda, right? The second thing here is that you said it has nothing to do with being Jewish, and well, within the Torah, there's this deep tie to the land of Israel, so much so that if you removed Israel from the Jewish identity, you would not be Jewish anymore. That's just how we operate. Also, we're an ethno-religion, which means that it's all about genetics coming from our matriarchal side. And that matriarchal lineage actually dates all the way back to when we were in the Middle East, which means that, Jews are not white. Jews have never been white. We're actually Middle Eastern. And the reason why our pigmentation looks so different and why you can't help but focus on our pigmentation is because of this little thing called the diaspora, where we were kicked out of Israel and we were spread across the world. And naturally, we end up taking on different pigmentations, especially as we started to get more involved in other ethnicities out there. So that will happen, is that we'll have mixed genes and some of us will be paler than others, but guess what? We're not white. The last thing is that you said it's not about being Jewish. I think that's what you meant anyway. And the reality is that most Jews are Zionists. And the few that aren't, the gaslit Jews, the ones that call themselves anti-Zionist, they're not really anti-Zionist Jews. They're just gaslit Jews, okay? We need to normalize that. The Jews that you focus on in these encampments that have been participating have been tokenized, which is another sign of your hypocritical stance. So your entire movement is based on hypocrisies and loopholes. And if you had an entire movement based on emotions, then quite frankly, it will fall apart, because that's how emotions work. They have breakdowns and then they boil and they need therapy. So, get a therapist.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's always good having you guys come back again and again and again, and I'm truly grateful. So today we'll be discussing about something a bit controversial. Something extraordinary is shaking the internet at the moment. People are talking across social media about a topic that has been a controversy for several years, and the question is, who are the chosen people of God? We have a set of people saying that Black Americans are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites, and this is causing a lot of outrage among the Ashkenazi Jews and some segments of white Americans. We have different reactions, which I will be rolling out shortly, okay? So stay tuned, guys, and I'll be right back.
I shock y'all world, but black people is the real Jews.
Okay, so go.
Do you know black people?
Go start wearing tzitzis. Start wearing tzitzis. Go follow the Bible. Start doing what the Bible says. If you say that you're Jewish, start doing what the Bible says.
Black people is the real Jews.
So very good. Start following the Bible.
Why you want to steal the swing on me or something? Read how I mean, man.
When did mocking faith and identity become entertainment? Let's talk about this. I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's nothing funny about mocking someone's faith or identity. In this video, the man claims black people are the real Jews, but instead of providing evidence or engaging in a meaningful conversation, he turns it into confrontation. The Jewish man's response, start following the Bible then, is spot on. If you believe something, live it out. Faith isn't about throwing statements to provoke or insult, it's about living with purpose and integrity. What's even worse is how the man dismisses the entire conversation by shouting "Free Palestine." It's not relevant to the original statement he made, and on top of that, it's also inflammatory, taking the focus away from what could have been a respectful dialogue. We live in a world now where mocking serious topics like faith and culture is treated like entertainment. But let me be clear about this. Speaking as someone who has opposite religious beliefs, as an Hasidic Jew, there's nothing funny about disrespecting someone's deeply held beliefs. If we want to have these conversations, let's come with respect, knowledge, and a genuine desire to learn, not to provoke. Faith deserves respect, not mockery. Let's do better. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
I wonder why Israel's biggest problem is the young generation of the black community when we're all the way over here. We don't have no land. We don't have no communities. We don't have no commodities. We don't have any resources. We don't have any bombs. We don't have any nuclear weapons. We don't have any missiles. We don't have any military. Why would we be the biggest threat? wouldn't the biggest threat be the people you're actually in war with? What do we have to do with anything y'all got going on? Could it be that the conspiracies about identity theft are true? Perhaps. Because I doubt that, a lie would be a big threat to an entire country. I don't think a lie would. But what I think is the biggest threat is that the truth is being revealed, and the world knows that. Time's up. How we're a threat. Because it looks like they at war with who the real threat is right now, but never mind. The real question is, why does it seem like when we overcome all the odds that have been thrown at us, all the programming and social engineering that's been thrown at us, then we become the threat? Is it because someone has something to gain from all the narratives and the stereotypes that they want us to portray? Or that some of us are portraying? I mean, let's be real. A lot of us should be dead or in jail. A lot of us should be several men's baby mamas. A lot of us should be strung out or addicted to something. But instead, guess what? We are phenomenal. We are educated. We love our Creator. We're wives. We're mothers. We're family oriented. We're business owners. We work hard. We mind our business. We support our community. To me, that sounds like the real threat, because it's so many programs put in place for us to do the exact opposite. And honestly, it's a miracle that we've overcome all the things that they have tried to do to us. Who could do what we've done? We are a peculiar people. We are the salt of the earth. You can't tell me that's not why they find us a threat. It's because we really are the chosen ones of the Most High. So here's what I say. Let's actually be a threat. Let's be a threat for real. Let's support each other's businesses, because we know that when we hurt them in the pockets, that's when they really start to recognize what the real threat is. And that's our unity. That's our economic empowerment. We're supposed to have all this spending power. Well, we need to spend it with each other and not anybody else. If you got a business, drop it in the chat. Support my business. Let's run the numbers up. Share this, because this is what they're actually afraid of. This is the threat. They're afraid of the fact that we are the exception to the rule. And the rule was all the programming that they put in place to keep us down.
Get this straight, everybody. The people running Israel are not Semites. Let's just start with that. They're Ashkenazi Jews from northeastern parts beyond Turkey.
By that logic, the black people in America are not black. And the Hispanic people in America are not Hispanic. And my friend who moved to China, he's now Chinese. Yeah, he's not American. No, he's not Caucasian. He's now Asian. You know that if a German person and a Jewish person living in Germany, and they could trace their ancestors back the same amount of generations in Germany, for the Jew, it'll come back Ashkenazi Jewish, and for the Gentile, it'll come back German. Why? Why doesn't it come back German for the Jew? It doesn't. Because the self-reporting the DNA says something. This is DNA that is not the same as all the other German people. The same thing with Ukraine. The same thing with Poland. A Polish person will get Polish, but the Jew will get Ashkenazi Jew. Why? Ashkenazi Jew is not a place. Actually, it's an ethnicity that traces back to where? The Semites, the Levant, to Judea. Because that's where we're from Judea.
So a lot of people have been posting their DNA tests, and it shows that a big chunk of their DNA is Ashkenazi Jewish, which is beautiful. And then I checked the comments, and it says, well, what? You missed the exit to the library because you didn't read a book? Let's talk about it. So to be an Ashkenazi Jew means you're an ethnic group from the Middle East, from Judea, and you were forced into exile into places like Europe. And in Europe, it wasn't so fun for the Jews. We never lived in equality in the white European world. From the legal marginalization to the Shoah, to the Holocaust. We were never Europeans, and we were never treated as such. And this is to the extent that even centuries later, Jews were so genetically isolated that even now I can take a blood test, an Ashkenazi Jew is going to show up. Also, isn't it a bit odd that people are only denying Jews of their peoplehood after the rebirth of Israel, their homeland? Jews are finally strong and they have their homeland back. And people are desperate to find a reason to make Jews weak again.
Of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varney Shorer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
So, from my little research, I have realized that some scholars and historians and even religious leaders claim that black people are the descendants of the ancient Israelites, which are also referred to as the Hebrew Israelites. The black Americans have traced their history back to the Israelites, and as news of this spread online, the reactions have been very, very intense. And as we see in these videos, they have been tagged as the major problem of Israel. Some Ashkenazi Jews claim that religious traditions and histories are being misrepresented. This has created various debates all over social media. So I want to throw this over to you guys. What do you all think? What do you think? What are your views about this topic? Please drop your comments down below, as I would also like to learn from you. Okay? I'll be reading your comments because I also want to learn from you. I don't have all the answers. I really don't know what is true or what isn't. So please drop your comments down below and let the discourse begin. Cheers, guys.